moved
Oh,
in.
Ezra Buckner.
Yes.
That was one of my adventures in 1976.
This is a cool story.
You want me to tell the story?
Yes, please.
So I was on my way to work in the morning in the office. It was 10 o'clock, 10:30 on Harlem and Madison in Chicago by Oak Park and Forest Park. That's the dividing line, right by Parky's hot dog stand. So I heard on WBBM radio this black family, the first black family in history to move into Forest Park, which is where I was right on that moment. And they said the house got bombed. They're throwing bricks through the windows. They told me about the kids. And the first thing I thought, when someone's throwing a brick through your window, where do you go? I mean, think about it. You got to go behind the couch, or I would turn the couch upside down.
Yeah, and this ain't the country, guys. Like, you know, like
This
out in
is-
the country,
this
we
is
all got our
normal
guns and
times.
We're not fucking scared of people like that. But
Yeah.
these people are outnumbered by their community, and it's their community that's surrounding them.
Yeah, so then they gave the address on Frederick Street. So I called the guy, he says, where's that at? I'm right in the neighborhood. I'm a private detective. And he told me it's on the corner of Frederick and something Adams. I forgot the street name. Anyway, so I went over there, and there was 3 guys across the street from where the guy was. I parked my car in the middle. I don't want to go into this thing, man. I was in the private security business, so I seen these 3 punks across the street from the guy's house. These are all small bungalows in Forest Park. They're not a big house. So I went up to the guy's steps, and I says, hey, you want me to help you here? And his name was Ezra Buckner. He said, what do you mean? I says, are you having trouble here? I just heard on the radio. He says, those 3 guys across the street are the ones that are harassing me, and that's one of the guys right there. So I says, okay, you want me to straighten this out? I says, I'm a security, private security. And he says, yeah, if you could help me, go ahead. So I went across the street, you know. So our company was called Hargrave Secret Service. So we used to put our finger on the Hargrave and say we're Secret Service. So I told the 3 guys I was Secret Service, like that. And I had my plan all made, how I was going to fight these 3 pairs, but there was an old guy in the back. I was going to give the first guy a slap real hard that'll knock him to the second guy. At that second, an overhand right was on the way to the 3rd guy, and I figured by that time the tough guy in the middle will cower out and run away. But the thing is, when I told him I was from the Secret Service, and this black guy here, I says, you're fucking with him. He's a postal inspector general. He says his uncle's the general. Whatever the fuck I said. What it's called in our business, the reason I don't remember what I said is because it was a lie what I said. You never remember a lie exactly. But let's put it like this. I indicated that I was a Secret Service agent, and he's got an uncle, and the federal marshals are going to be here in 5 minutes. They're going to lock everybody up. Anybody that moves is going to get locked up. If you don't go, I'm going to fucking shoot you anyway. The boss said that. So, and that was it. They fucking disappeared. There wasn't... So the guy says, can you just stay here one night? Because I got to pick... I says, yeah, I'll put a couple guys, security guards. Now, you want me to go into the whole story?
Yeah, please. I think it's a good story.
So I put a security guard there, Eddie Thomas and Bob Morales. I said, just stay in your car, go inside the house, okay, and then I'm going to go home. So I went to the office, I got the guys there, and then I went to the office, and then I went home, and it was all over. I said, when When nighttime comes, just go. So anyway, that night, the coppers come, the Forest Park coppers come and harass the security guards. My security guards were armed. They're licensed and legally armed security officers. This is why I got out of the security business. You know, so they says, now, are you guys armed? And he says, yeah, we're armed. What kind of guns you got? Yeah, here. But at that time, he was on their property. He says, well, the minute you come on the sidewalk with your firearm, we're going to lock you up. The guy says, what for? We're allowed to leave where we're guarding and go home with our gun. He says, well, we'll see about that. You stop on the sidewalk with the gun, and so they called me right away. I said, tell the motherfucker what you're going to do. You'll leave your gun right on the guy's stairway, and then you'll go home, you'll leave your gun there. The guy don't want it in the house. He told the coppers that, and man, all of a sudden, they says, Mike, there's another car here. So I came there. I didn't live too far. When I came there was a Tribune reporter there, and he took a picture of the guys inside. He took my picture too afterwards. Make a long story short, when I come out, the guys lie. The minute the Tribune reporter left the scene after he did his report, he said, I says, I don't know what happened. So the guards told him what the story was with the gun and what I said, and I infuriated him. Make a long story short, so then the reporter left. The minute the reporter left, the police chief of fucking Forest Park, his name was Drain. I don't remember his first name, maybe Richard Drain. Him and another guy, they opened my car and they were inside, they were scraping off the fucking IPA sticker.
Oh,
That's
shit.
the Illinois Police Association. I said, what the fuck you doing? And then I started getting hot.
Because you were a cop, right? Before
I
that.
was a cop 2 years before. I said, what the fuck you doing? Leave it alone. And he says, what, do you want to get locked up? I says, not really. I says, but what the fuck you doing here? You know, what did I do?
And this was a black family's house.
This was the first black family that moved into Forest Park, and they were firebombing the garage. They threw bricks through the window, and the coppers told them to get a security company. We can't stay there all night. That's what the issue was.
They told them to get, and you, so you offered your services.
I just was in the neighborhood, and I was, what the fuck? I'll just go over there, get some excitement.
So
I'm about excitement. I'm about right and wrong. Yeah, true. But I love excitement. I love action.
did you ever get locked up after this? Did they ever get you after this?
Well, they brought me to the police. I don't know if it's called being locked up or it's being called escorted to the police station. But I couldn't leave, if that's what you mean.
So you were brought in.
I was in the police chief's office with this other copper, and all of a sudden the chief says, get Subby. He says, get Subby.
Subby.
So this guy, the copper goes out, and he asks me, he says, are you a lover? Like that. He says, are you a lover? I says, I like him more than you. I wanted to loosen him up a little bit, make him laugh, you know. I'm from Maxwell Street. That's what we do. So anyway, after about 4 minutes, this guy comes in. An old, heavy-set Italian guy. He's got the fucking hat on. He's got the long coat on. His name is Subby. He says, you know why they called me? I says, no, why? He says, and he would go like this to me. You know, like that. He says, you're Chiapetta, right? I says, yeah, Chiapetta. He says, you're a nephew of Jasper? I says, no, that's Jasper. Jasper's not my family. He says, what do you mean? It's the same name. I says, yeah, but when we came off the boat, I says, they took a different, it was an I. He says, what the fuck? So in other words, the police chief called him because he thought I was an outfit guy's nephew, Chapetta. There was a Chapetta faction from Melrose Park that we didn't know. They were syndicate guys. And there was a Chapetta funeral home on this side in the Cicero area that used to bury him. So they think I'm part of that clique. Make a long story short, my brother-in-law Augie was in charge of the detail, and I was the owner and the boss. So anyway, when they hauled me in, then Augie called the reporter back, and the reporter was calling the police station, and I indicated, he says, where's the FBI, the Secret Service come in? You know, and I says, what?
Yeah.
I says, who do you think put me here? I said, to try to scare him, because, hey, this is an outfit guy, this is a police chief. Guys could get buried, beat up, and killed, and thrown in the fucking river in 10 minutes. I could have been gone. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
They could have smuggled me and killed me. Period. He
Easily,
disappeared.
right, yeah.
Easy. Because if it happened to me, I could have done it to someone else simple over there at that time.
So, okay.
That's a story.
So here's another fucked up piece to it, right? After years later,
Yeah.
some underground YouTube reporter
It was
that I don't even know his name right now.
Yeah, Robert, you met him. That's right.
I
you
did.
met
Well,
him.
we went to the
Yeah,
ceremony.
we went
and
through
all
the
this
whole
stuff.
thing. Yeah. They had a
And
ceremony.
Basically, what
Something,
happened
yeah.
was he found the report in Chicago newspaper archives
In their archives in Forest Park Library.
in the Forest Park Library.
Yeah.
And
His name was John Rice. He's a writer too.
he got a hold of the reports, read it, tracked down Mike, tracked down what was his name?
Who?
What was the owner of the house's name?
Ezra Buckner.
Contacted
He
Ezra
talked.
Buckner.
He got him on videotape.
Okay.
He's got him on videotape.
And he went back and forth, shooting things with Mike, shooting things with him. And right before they did the last video where he was going to fly Buckner out
Yeah.
to meet you, Buckner died.
Buckner died.
He died
Buckner died.
just before.
But I did meet his daughters. His